Welcome back to this really stupid series where I time how long it took cartoon characters to touch grass. Today I'm returning to the world of Ninjago to cover Ninjago Dragons Rising. Previously in this series, I covered the original Ninjago show. In that, I timed the grass touching of Kai, Jay, Zane, Cole, Lloyd, Nia, Wu, Pixel, Misako, and Garmadon. And today, we'll be taking a look at the sequel show Dragons Rising to see how its new characters match up with the rest. If this is the first video in this series you've seen, you can pause right now to see the rules I go by. Today's grass-touching contestants are Aaron, Sora, Rayu, Wildfire, Frack, Euphrasia, and Raz. Let's touch grass. Young Aaron starts off incredibly well. The show begins by showing us the merge from his perspective, and by the time the realms all come together, he wakes up, gets up on his feet, and stands on some grass after just 2 minutes and 28 seconds. Unfortunately, we won't be seeing anyone else do anywhere near as good as Aaron. There's a little bit of grass on the bridge where Sora and Aaron fight Raptor and Raz, but she stays in her mech the whole time. After the merge, the Monastery of Spinjitzu is now surrounded by a ton of grass, but that doesn't really matter when she doesn't touch any of it. Fast forwarding a bit to when our heroes meet up with the matriarch of the mountain dragons, the timer pauses as we cut away to the Claws of Imperium, and now we get a better look at this new environment. We clearly have this purple colored grass here, but looking even closer, we can see that there's some very short grass growing through the gaps in the rock, meaning when Sora comes back on screen, she's walking over it, and we can lock in her time at 24 minutes and 37 seconds. Little Rayu doesn't let his imprisonment by Imperium stop him on his quest to touch grass. He's really determined to touch grass, escaping to the crossroads and trying to reach this little bit of grass. Unfortunately, the Claws of Imperium are very anti-touching grass, so Rayu's grass touching is delayed for quite a while. He's not able to touch any until meeting up with the matriarch. Unlike Sora, he touches it a bit early right here, ending on a time of 14 minutes and 25 seconds. Now for my favorite of the new ninja introduced in Dragons Rising. Unfortunately, Wildfire started off imprisoned by Imperium, but just like Rayu, that's not gonna stop her. She's lucky that I Will Be the Danger starts off with a flashback of her growing up in the wilderness. One issue, she's constantly avoiding touching grass despite being surrounded by it. However, once Heatwave is captured by the Claws of Imperium, she runs up the hill and touches grass in just 7 minutes and 53 seconds. You can't tell from this shot alone, but she runs past a rock to her right. Combined with the shape of the cliff, we can determine that she ran up to here. And since she was so close to this rock with heaps of grass to its left, I stopped the time just as the rock came into frame. With it being very common for snakes to be found in tall, dense grass, it comes as a shock that Frack takes a very long time to touch any. There is green stuff between the bricks in the City of Temples, but this seems to be moss rather than grass, I think. Throughout all of Season 2 Part 2, he never touches any grass, but he does come very close multiple times. The worst example is probably right after his fight with Sora in Clues and Suspects, where dude, just take a step to the side! Fuck! Well, Season 2 had nothing. Time for Season 3. He touches none of the grass in the monastery courtyard, and the ninja's quest to find Aaron doesn't exactly lead to much grass at first. So the missing ends with no grass touching from Frack. But going into the ultimate object of admiration, his first scene shows him and the others walking off some grass. So Frack's time locks in at 25 minutes and 16 seconds. Euphrasia was a pain in the ass to figure out. Fuck Cloud Kingdom for making all its monks wear identical robes and hoods, which made it really hard to tell who is and isn't Euphrasia. I've spent way too much time trying to figure this out, and I want to go to bed. So let's just move forward to season 2 now, and specifically Rising Ninja. After she and the monks are freed, we see them running across stone in the Forest of Spirits. But just like with Sora and Rayu, there is some very short grass growing around the cracks in the stone. And looking carefully, she steps on some of it right here, giving her a pretty okay time of 12 minutes and 16 seconds. Raz is kind of an idiot. For season 1, he's working for Imperium, a society that's all about technology located in the middle of a desert. So it's no surprise that he never touches grass during his time working under Beatrix. Lucky for him, he's in prison for most of season 1 part 2. But the flashbacks in Absolute Power contribute greatly to his time. Thankfully, as soon as he's free, he grabs what's her name before season 1 concludes. Season 2 begins with Raz back in his home of the wildness, and unlike Euphrasia, he ain't walking over bits of grass, he's working on a full patch of grass. I thought this could be dirt at first, but taking a close look at how dirt is actually coloured in the Forest of Spirits, yeah no, this is definitely grass. And Raz touched it in 22 minutes and 51 seconds. Hey, look at that, another grass touching video. It was really nice to get something kind of small out for once. I'm currently working on 2 incredibly long videos that have been taking me so much time, and I haven't had time to work on smaller things in the meantime. Plus, I'm moving house soon, and that's taken up a lot of my time as well. So yeah, it was nice to finally have something like this again. But I'm just gonna keep letting this leaderboard scroll. My name's Dr. Lemington. Like and subscribe to make me smile, and I will see you later.